So, I went out, got some quarters again today, and it happened again. I got shorted massively from 10 rolls of quarters. But there's a good news. This guy who's been doing this is going to be getting himself into even more trouble, considering that his transit numbers are on these rolls, and I have to bring him back tomorrow, but I can't show him because it has his number on there for a reason. But karma bites knows who basically try to screw people over, because inside those rolls there was a 1991 quarter. Let's see if I can get that to focus in. So yeah, that's pretty sweet that I got a key day quarter. These are pretty expensive. They're about like 10 to 15 bucks in this shape, but the uncirculated, they're anywhere from $20 to $30 now, because there's less than 500,000 1991 quarters that were minted. I'm pretty sure 459,000 of them were minted. So yeah, this is a pretty awesome find, considering that he did that and it bit him in the butt. So I'm calling you guys in for a nickel hunt. And tomorrow I will get back my quarters, because it will be coming out of his account, considering that his transit number is on them. So you have to be real dumb to think that you can do this with me. I weigh my rolls, so anything under 178 grams, I'm usually iffy. Usually anything that's like 179 or higher, I'm usually okay with, but even then, who's to say that they can't put a nickel in there? So, yeah, that person's in a lot of trouble tomorrow, so all I have to do is find 6 more 2013 nickels, and I'll have my coin dealer's order filled out for his specific rolls that he needs for nickels. But already off the hop, we got ourselves a L'Oreal portrait. It's all scratched up and stuff, but I love seeing these. I used to call them the Wendy coins, like Wendy's. It's a 64. But it's not an extra water line. If it was an extra water line, that would have probably been like a $20 nickel right there, even in that condition. So, I'm going to start going through these nickels, pulling out the ones that I need, and then if I happen to find something, I'll call you guys back in. So, roll number 3 is going to have us another find. We got ourselves a 1990. It's in pretty decent shape, I'd have to say. But unfortunately it's got that ring of death. But as you can see, I'll try to zoom in a lot more so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Got ourselves a partial bear belly. Isn't that a little interesting? I see these quite often, so I'll put this off to the side, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all my 1990s one of these days. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in a complete order from like the least deteriorated to the most deteriorated. It's pretty interesting when you're able to do stuff like that. So we got ourselves a 1990 bear belly on the board. If I happen to find anything else, I'll call you guys back in. Roll number 6, and I found another 1990, but this is the thing that I'd love to show off, considering that I can finally do it with this camera. But I'll try to get it in. As you can see, this one's like a partial as well, and I found another one. So yeah, this is going to be another kind of like bear belly, but that's pretty cool. I find these quite regularly. I know there's a lot of people out there that actually have a real hard time finding these, but I find them with relative ease. It's not that hard for me to find these, but yeah, and this one's least like significant comparatively to, like, let's say this one that I just found. But yeah, we got 2 partial bear bellies up here, so that's pretty cool. So 4 more rolls to go. If I happen to find anything else, I'll call you guys back in. Roll number 8 is going to give us a Dodecagon. So let's see what it's going to be. Oh, we got ourselves a Georgie. Sweet. So this one's probably going to be from before 1947 because it's still got the edit and imp. So what year is it going to be? Ooh, a 1946. Let's see if it's a double six or a arrow in six. And oh, I'm seeing something a little significant on this one. See a little bit of machine doubling, but I don't think you'll probably see it that well, considering that I'd have to use my microscope, but you can see it a little bit there, underneath the 1, the 4, and the 6, kind of like that machine doubling. That is really cool. This is the year that my grandma was born, so that's pretty sweet. If I had to choose any year out of this one, I would have said the 46 or the 47 dot. That would have been real cool. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. I wonder if there's anything else in here. Just take a quick skim. Seen a little bit of nickel. Oh, there's American. Just a newer American. And yeah, I have 2 more rolls to go. If I find anything interesting, I'll call you guys back in. Second to last roll, I found a 63, which is pretty sweet. And I found this. This is pretty cool. So I found a 1953 Jefferson nickel, but it is the San Francisco Mint. So I normally don't find these style of nickels that often, so it's pretty cool to see something like this, especially when it has an S mint mark. So that's actually a pretty interesting find of 53S, so I would still consider that to be an oldie. Right there with that one. And then we're going to go on to the final roll. Maybe there's something good in here. Unfortunately, I still need 3 more 2013 nickels, but I don't think I'm going to be getting them in this hunt. I'm not seeing any edges calling me out, so let's see what can be in the final roll. Couple Americans, but I'm not seeing much anything else by the looks of it, so I'm going to go through these and make sure that I didn't miss a 2013, and I'll call you guys for the wrap-up. So for today's hunt, I would say this was pretty good. I found about 25 cents in American nickels, including the 53. Found 4 2013 nickels. Unfortunately, I still need 2 more. Found a little bit of nickels from the 80s and 70s. Not as much as I'd like. I was hoping for a little bit more for the nickel stash, but hey, that's all you can find sometimes, but it makes me happy more or less. But found 2 63s, 64. Found 2 partial bare belly 1990s. One is more like bare than the other, so it's kind of interesting to see those. Found a 1953S Jefferson nickel, which is pretty cool, and a double date 1946 nickel, which is pretty awesome. But before I go, let's just appreciate the fact that these are a little bit difficult to find. It's more like machine doubling. Let's see if I could get that to focus in a little bit more better. But you can see it underneath the 6 a lot more better. You can see a little bit under the 4 and the 1 as well. You'll probably be able to see it better if it was uncirculated, but unfortunately it's not. It's got a bunch of scratches on the back as well, but I would say this was a really good hunt. I thought it was really cool that I also found a 53S. So, moral of the story is, if you continuously hunt, you're bound to find something crazy sooner or later. So, stay tuned for more hunts down the road, and you know the moral of the story, guys. Happy hunting!